So what are examples of some of the negative mindsets? When I'm successful, it's due to luck. It's like, oh, it just happened. Because you don't always remember the steps that you took to arrive to that place of progress. And you don't often have confidence that you can do it again. So you think it's just you lucked out. So there's a lot of imposter syndrome with adults with ADHD. I'm less worthy than others. I always make mistakes. There's kind of an always never thing with ADHD. Dr. Barkley talks about it being a condition of dysregulation, and that means that there's often underdoing and overdoing, and there's not a lot of gray area. So it's like I always make mistakes, or then there's the person with ADD who's in complete denial, and I never make mistakes. It's everybody else that has a problem. I have little control over my life. The world is unfair, because actually when you think about it, if you have undiagnosed ADD, the world does seem unfair. People are always angry with me. I am pessimistic that life can improve. And so if you have those kind of mindsets, what are your coping strategies going to be? And really, if you have those mindsets, you got to credit anybody who can get out of bed every day and keep trying to fight the good fight, because really, a lot of us would just kind of collapse and just say, never mind. So what are some of the poor coping strategies? Denying and minimizing. The dent in the car is not that bad. Or, I didn't go into that much bankruptcy. There's just all kinds of ways of denying and minimizing. Avoiding. Is anybody familiar with the idea of having the discussion later?
Or not at all?
Well, that's the same thing, right? Never. Later. We'll talk about that later, honey, meaning never. Because, really, when you think about it, these are perfectly rational, because the person with ADD knows that if they try to have a discussion, it's not going to go well. Maybe aren't going to be able to focus on what the partner wants them to understand, or they're not going to be able to do things better the next time. So why even go there? It just doesn't make sense. Quitting. Some people with ADD will just leave a relationship. They won't even be able to know why they're leaving. They just know that it's going wrong again, and they don't know why, and they'll just leave. Rationalizing and blaming. Same with quitting a job. It's kind of the same thing. Just, I've had it, I'm done. Controlling. People who feel a lot of chaos often can react by exerting control. And again, this is kind of a smart strategy in a way. If you tend to go into chaos or disorganization, to have a rigidly scheduled calendar or routine. But the problem comes when something upsets that routine and you can't cope, you can't adapt or be flexible. So it might work when you're single, but then when you get married, or then when you have a child, or then when you get promoted at work or something, then those rigid ways of controlling don't work so well anymore.